Hey guys, we are here from middle school recording live. My name is Rachel Chambers.
I'm Amber Hall.
And I'm Amy Reeder.
We all work together and obviously are all enrolled in this course. And we thought for our week 8 Create that we would just record us discussing this week's readings and talk about some of our questions or points that we thought were interesting.
This week's reading for the class focused mostly on research. And so they had quite a few studies where most of the studies were conducted with higher education. And what they found was that students overall seem to have the same academic performance with open OER as they did with traditional textbooks. And so they were happy because they got the same academic performance. However, they saved money on their texts. So definitely students are saving money. They also found that students who were using OER actually took more courses, which contributed to the universities getting more money as well. And they dropped less courses. And so there's definitely a financial gain for students and for the university. But as I thought about that, I kept thinking that there has to be a cost somewhere. And the more I thought about this, and this is what I put in my blog this week, was that it feels like the educators are the people who are going to be paying for this, because I feel like they were the ones that
Putting all the time in.
Yeah, that are putting the time and energy into creating these materials. You know, we normally, and even at K-12, we normally have resources that are research-based. They've been piloted, teachers have used them, and then we know that they work. And so it's easy to use those materials. But if you're just given OER, you're basically going to have to sift through all of that information and spend your time and energy making sure that it's credible, making sure that it'll work for your class and it's tailored to it. So even though I know most teachers or educators or professors would probably be willing to do that, the truth is it's going to cost them in their time and their energy for sure. So that's just my take on it this week.
You know, and that makes me think of a couple weeks ago, I don't know, I think it was with David Wiley, that the one lady who was married to a professor, our classmate, I can't remember her name, but she said her husband was trying to do OER in the college, and there was a lot of resistance from other faculty. And I can't help but think of maybe it's because of the extra work that it is,
right,
that they're not getting paid for, or the grants that they have to apply for, or the money that they have to find somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's definitely a connection there.
And then, you know, as I look through this, I couldn't help but think of us as K through 12 educators. And I still can't quite find my place for OER here. And I'm interested to see how that comes in, because like you said, it's most of the research is done with that higher education, the post education degrees or postgraduate degrees. So for us, yeah, I'm paying taxes, but I've never had to pay for textbooks for my students that are in K through 12. And so,
well, and I wonder if people keep saying that, like, if the public is giving money for public education, then what they're saying is that then they should have complete access to, like, their money is going to those textbooks. Do you see?
Yeah, but I feel like they have that access.
Yeah.
So for me, I just don't see until we have some sort of, there are federal funds, and I don't know anything about anything with this. Like, I feel like I don't know, but for sure there's some sort of federal funds that are given to our school district for curriculum.
Right. Well,
and if we don't use those, it's not like it's going to come back to our pocket. We've learned several times, if we don't use funds for what they're allocated for, they just disappear.
Right. Exactly. And I did say that in one of my blogs a couple weeks ago, because I was talking about, right now I'm piloting a program for a new health curriculum. And I'm piloting 3 programs for a new health curriculum. And I kept thinking, you know, the money that they spend on these curriculums it's a lot. Like the publishers come and they speak and they really try to sell their curriculum. Right. And so as much as that is a business, that's what I put is, what would they do with the funds? Because there are curriculum funds that are designated. Like math has to have a new curriculum every so many years.
Yeah.
English language arts has to have a new curriculum every so many years.
My concern is they just go away. It's not like they go back into the pocket to fund teachers for OER.
Yeah, they'll fund education more, but that's just not what happens. All of a sudden the money just disappears, and then there's less money for education, and you do wonder about that.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what this looks like K through 12. And I do use a lot of free resources. I know, Amy, we've talked about that, use a lot of free resources as well in the classroom, but it's all kind of supplemental.
Yeah, we still have the curriculum that the district provides, so we do use free resources and whatnot, but we have to use that in addition to the curriculum. And also, it takes a lot of time to vet the resources and adapt it for our classes and make it work for us. So it still does take a lot of time, which kind of goes back to what Amber was talking about with the cost being the educator.
Right, which really we've already been doing that. When I first came and started teaching, textbooks were so old. And I have to tell you, just starting health this year, the textbook is 15 years old that they are using for health. And I wrote a letter, and I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm thrilled to say that they are finally going to adopt a new textbook for health this year. And it's not that, honestly, as I'm looking at them, like, I don't know how great they are, but at least the information will be up to date.
Which is an advantage of OER, is you can always update it.
Right.
And Amy, you mentioned, you know, in post-secondary that it's, when they do that, it's catered to that class and those assessments. So I think there are definite benefits.
There was a K-12 study.
There was
in the
one.
rating that they talked about too. What was
but it was
specific
just
about
one. I can't remember the specifics. I have it highlighted. It was, I don't remember, but it was, I'm going to go back to it for my blog.
Yeah, we'll have to look for that one. But anyway, so thanks for listening.
That's our thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll probably have a lot to learn. Thanks, guys.